What's up, guys? This is Ryan. Just wanted to walk you through a map clear I just finished that was a lot of fun. First is Lane. He's a number 5 in the US, I think. I was using some silly things to see if it worked against him, and it wasn't really working, so I went back to the standard HRZCM Everspark hit. So this is a 7 boosted ice base with a laser. It looks a lot like what was the meta right before, right when I was starting my push. Right out of the gate, I miss a shot on the laser. Don't get punished for it because it only shoots a heavy. I cleared the left rocket because it was going to be shooting at the same time as the right rocket, and this back one wasn't going to do a whole bunch of damage on its own. Just being generally efficient with critters and shocks, intertwining which ones I use, switching back and forth so I don't spend too much of one versus the other. Once I clear up to the laser, reflare over to the right because I can shock that, or universal remote that shock launcher. Once I get here, my troops were spreading wide enough that I just let them go with the rocket. I didn't think it was going to kill anything. And with a med kit, I could kind of get around to it whenever the troops got around to it. And they ended up getting there. This wasn't that bad once I switched back to the thing that I've been doing my whole push. I was just trying some silly things with bullet to see if it worked, because when I have gold, I like to mess around with new strategies. So, moving on. I think I had a really, really easy low ice base here. Yeah, this was really easy. I used all grenadiers just because it was literally 0 ice, so I won't bother with that. Next was, I don't know how to pronounce this. I think he's number 4 right now. Somebody shared in chat right before I hit that they took this guy down when they parked right in between these buildings with heavy Zuka and didn't shock this machine gun, and I kept trying it, and the machine gun always shot my Zuka, so I just gave up. He had barraged this rocket launcher down and just sat there and ignored the shock launcher and took down the thing, the HQ, and the machine gun thing made it so that I couldn't pull off that hit also, so I just switched and did something on my own. Instead of barraging down the rocket launcher, I just decided to shock the machine gun and clear around everything. Basically the same hit, but it looks prettier the way he was doing it. So RD tag, the shock launcher, and the laser, the mortar with the mines and the laser. I had to shock the machine gun a second time and smoke right before it unshocks. Once you get here, you don't need a shock or anything. You just need bullet to be ahead of everything else. Might have thrown a medkit, I forget. My bullet was pretty low in health here. You see, I learned my lesson this time. Waited until bullet was in range of that rocket to taunt it. I was really low on GB here, and I was really stressed because I didn't know if it was going to work or not with these mortars, but they all decided to target bullet, and it totally worked out for me. All my Zukas almost died, but then bullet took down the shock launcher, and it all worked out. I didn't have enough GB to reflare, and I wasn't sure what this mortar's range was, so bullet luckily took down another mortar, and I just reflared out of the way to be safe. This isn't that bad a base at all. I was just trying some silly things to see if it works. You can make a lot of mistakes with heavy Zuka bullet and still take down bases. It's really cool. So yeah, almost ran out of time there, but anyway. This is a 5 ice base. I'll show it to you really quickly. It's really, really, really easy. You can barrage down both rockets because it's only 5 ice. The laser gets stuck on bullet, and you just drop RZCM and clear. He also parked the shock launcher and the shock blaster in one shock radius, so you can shock basically everything on his base really easily. So I lost like a couple Zukas on this hit. It's really a silly layout. And I'll go on to the last one. This one I actually was really happy about. This is my buddy Dacker. I took him down on my first try, which got kind of lucky with that. I wanted to try this when I saw his layout just because it looked so silly. If you see these cannons are all not relevant to a tank gren hit once you clear these shock launchers, and same with this cannon. And with how clustered, how close together the rockets in the back are, I thought that I could probably get away with getting them all to target bullet and then dropping a boat of Zukas at the end to finish the shield, because I was going to have to pound through the whole like 2 shields if I didn't clear these shield gens, because he clearly made an effort to make the shield generators annoying to get to, but that left it pretty exposed overall. So once we got here, everything was targeting bullet, which I was super excited about. I ended up I was debating whether to reflare or not, and I decided not to reflare because if bullet got out of range of the rockets, they might retarget something else. So I just dropped my Zuka boats and let it go. I'll speed it up for you here. The thing about that, though, was that I lost a whole bunch of my other troops from not reflaring. So I had plenty of time, but you see, like, nothing was taking down those boom cannons. So they kept shooting bullet over and over, and they trickled his health down pretty quickly. And he ended up dying before the actual attack was over. So my Zukas got absolutely lit up, but luckily they had dealt enough damage to the shield that I was able to take it down once bullet and my Zukas and everything else were down, with just the 4 tanks and like 2 Grens that survived at the end here. So it was a really silly attack. I don't recommend this as like a go-to thing, but his layout cooperated with it, and I'm really happy it worked because it was hilarious. So that was my group of attacks for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next video, next time I take down something that's kind of cool. Until then, keep it real, keep on booming, and have a good night.